Okay, disclaimer, I am wearing a shirt. It's super hot, so I have my windows open. I'm sorry if there's annoying motorcycles and airplanes and helicopters and sirens and all the noises. Today's video is gonna be one that has been so requested. Probably my most requested video ever. I think y'all have all been waiting for me to film for like over 6 months, and I just never filmed it, never acknowledged it. Y'all have been asking for updates. I've been getting comments, DMs, emails asking for updates about this, and I just never did it. Sorry. So last summer I posted a video where I moved to LA with $10 to my name, and yeah, that actually happened. I had $8 and I was just like, peace, and I moved to Santa Monica, and I didn't really update y'all. I kind of posted a few videos and talked about stuff a little bit, but I know a lot of people had questions about like my living situation and like my work stuff and like living on my own or like living in LA, and I just never talked about it or updated it. The reason I never made this video is just because I didn't really want to put like light on the subject, just because like a lot of people, like my friends, my family, my parents, like everybody that I know in real life like watches my videos. I just feel like I can't always post what I want to. I didn't want to get in trouble for posting stuff or people be concerned or anything, because like I'm totally chilling. I don't care what I post on the internet, but for the sake of other people I didn't want to. But that video's kind of been getting more views, and a lot of people have been asking for like an advice video on moving to LA or like moving out on your own, and I thought I'd just make this video. This isn't really going to be like an advice video. If you want that, let me know in the comments and I can definitely do that, but this is going to be more of like my experience slash story time, because a lot happened. I literally made a Google Doc for this video just because there's so much to talk about. Like my life during that time was so crazy. I can't even explain to you guys. Like it was just crazy. It was a movie. I know people always say like my life's a movie, but like no, literally people would always tell me like, dude, you can make a movie out of your life, and I'm like, I know. Like the most random weird stuff always happened. Everything went wrong. It was such a mess, and I had to make this Google Doc to like organize month by month everything that happened so I could explain it to you guys right. And just a disclaimer, this definitely isn't everything that happened. If I explained everything that happened, this video would be way too long. Eventually at some point in my life I will tell you guys more of this story, but for now I'm just kind of going to tell the main points and kind of summarize it a little bit. This is kind of just going to be more of my experience like moving out and living on my own. So yeah, this is probably going to be a long video, so sit back and relax. So starting off the story, it was the summer of 2019, the beginning, like May, June. I had just came back from college in Georgia, and I actually thought I was gonna stay there, so I left my car there and everything. But about like a month into my summer at home, I realized that I actually love California, and I missed all of my friends, and I didn't want to go back to Georgia because I was super depressed there. A lot of my internet friends had moved to LA while I was in Georgia, and I never got to hang out with them, but now that I was back home for the summer, we were hanging out. I was going to Santa Monica and LA and stuff like every single day. Oh yeah, and for reference, I live in Southern California, but I don't live like close to LA. It's kind of a commute. It's like an hour without traffic. It's like where I can drive there every day, but it's not convenient. But anyways, I was hanging out with a lot of my internet friends the beginning of summer 2019, and it was super fun. I hadn't seen them in a long time, and it was great to finally hang out with friends and be happy, and I was vibing. So everything was good, but my parents wanted me to get a job during the summer, and I was trying to get a job. Literally, I could never get a job here. This has been a reoccurring problem every single summer that I've lived at home. I just cannot get a job here. Places around this area where I live just don't hire. But during that time I was hanging out with my friends, and I wasn't able to find a job, and me and my parents kind of started butting heads because I didn't have a job, and they were like, you're just hanging out with your friends, you need to find work. I'm like, I'm trying, and I also want to have fun. I hadn't been hanging out with my friends or having fun at all, so now that it was summer and I was back and all my friends had moved to LA, I was like having fun with them. And then I decided I want to stay in California for school, and I think that just made it worse because like I left my car in Georgia. I literally thought I was gonna stay there, and now like I was like, you know what, never mind, I actually want to stay here where I was in the first place. So that just kind of made things even more complicated. So then July comes, and I was hanging out with my friends like almost every day. I would drive to Santa Monica because a lot of my friends lived in Santa Monica. I would literally just drive there every day and hang out with them because what else was I gonna do? So July 2019, this is where things get a little crazy. So there was one night where somehow we just ended up at this like influencer networking party in like a Hollywood Hills house, and it was super fun. We were having a good time, and then my phone got stolen. I had an iPhone X and it got stolen, and I didn't know what to do, and I knew I'd get in trouble if I told my parents, so I just decided to stupidly not tell them anything. And I was like, oh, I'll just go back to the house in the morning and we'll see the owner and ask if they have it. I'll find it like under the couch or something. So I knew I'd get in trouble if I told my parents, so I decided to just go back to the house the next day, and I thought I was magically gonna find the phone. I didn't want them to know that I didn't have my phone, so I just didn't say anything. The next morning we went and tried to find the phone, and it was nowhere to be found. Like someone actually stole it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm about to be in huge trouble. And I got grounded like really bad. Like I wasn't allowed to go out. My friends couldn't come over. They took my door. It was like my summer going into my junior year of college, and I felt like I shouldn't have been grounded because I'm too old for that. Like everyone kept saying like, you're grounded, aren't you in college? I'm like, yeah I am. And I was like, this is ridiculous, like I don't want to be here anymore. So I was just like, I'm gonna leave, bye. I literally just packed up my bags and left because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pay my own rent. So I just left and I ended up staying with my friend. He had an apartment like really close to Santa Monica College. It was like a male only apartment complex and he just lived with a bunch of guys that went to SMC. So I was just like, hi guys, I'm your new roomie. So yeah, I just lived with my friend and he let me live rent free. So thanks Grant for that one. So I just stayed with him until I could get a job and get enough money to find my own place. So that's like towards the end of July, and then August comes, and this was probably the hardest month of the whole time. Like this was probably the most difficult month ever. I had so much go wrong, guys, so much. So first off, I had $8, right? I have gas, I have bills, I got things to pay for. I was like, I have $8, what should I do here? So I got a credit card. I used it for gas and food. I remember I went to the store, I bought a bunch of ramen, bread, peanut butter, jelly. I stole wooden knives from Whole Foods and napkins from Whole Foods, and that was what I ate every day. This is really bad, don't do this. I did this thing where sometimes I would order off Postmates and eat a delicious meal, and then I would tell them that they messed up so I would get it for free. I know it's so bad, but I didn't have money and I was hungry, so sometimes you just gotta do that, you know? Sometimes I would just be in the right place and time and get free food. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I would really just get free food throughout my day. Like, every day was like different. I was like, how am I gonna eat today? We'll see. So within the first week of me moving in with my friend, I ended up getting a job at an acai bowl place. I would start working at 6:30 and then I'd end around 1, and I worked there like 5 days a week. It was pretty chill. It was just like I had to wake up early, but that wasn't really an issue for me considering like I needed money. So after I got my first paycheck from the acai bowl place, that's when I paid off my credit cards. So I was all good, no more debt. Y'all be thinking that I collect debt. Like, I literally paid it off as soon as I got money. Also keep in mind that this whole time I was using an iPhone 5 because my phone got stolen and I didn't have money for a new one, and that phone was super hard to use. It just like I couldn't do anything on it. It was impractical. After paying off my credit card, I ended up just getting an iPhone XR and like doing like payment plans on it. I needed a phone. It was a necessity. So this month was the month that I also had to enroll for school because that was when our semester started. So I went to SMC. I had to literally, I remember I would go to the office like every single day because they had so much trouble with my residency. Like, they were trying to say I was not a California resident, charge me extra money. It was crazy. So that whole process was already like, I'm dealing with a lot. Like, can you not SMC? And then another thing goes wrong. So pretty much I somehow ended up at Paris Hilton's house. She was having like a party and I just was with my friends and we were there. So at the time, like, my keys and wallet were like attached. They were like on a clip that were attached to each other, and I would just keep it in my purse, and I ended up losing them in front of Paris Hilton's house and I didn't know where they were. I literally lost my keys and wallet and I didn't know what to do, and I was like, I'm gonna get in so much trouble if I tell my parents that. So again, I just didn't say anything, and they ended up finding out, of course, and I ended up getting in trouble again because I didn't tell them, and that was the whole reason that it got caused in the first place, and then I did it again. So it started becoming a trend that every time I would try to like not get in trouble, I would end up getting in trouble anyways. So that was something I started to realize after countless times of that happening. My parents got even more mad at me for that because I didn't tell them about it, and it was just a big issue, and that's when I ended up getting cut off completely. They were like, find your own car insurance, your own phone bill. I was paying for my own car insurance, but they were like, you know, you need to find your own car insurance with like a different company, and you need to change the title of the car to be in your name because I don't want it in my name anymore. So I had to go to the DMV and change the title to be in my name of my car. I remember this so specifically. I waited at the DMV for so long, and then I go to like get my car title changed. She told me it was a $15 fee, and I literally didn't have $15 in my bank account, and I was like, do you take credit card? And she was like, no, and I was like,
what the hell we gonna do now?
I left and I was so mad. I was like, I literally don't even have $15 to change the title. Like, I was like, oh my god, I'm so poor. How am I gonna ever afford anything? And I was like, this is just rock bottom. Rock bottom. And then after that, I got a $61 parking ticket because I didn't have enough quarters to put in the parking meter. Love Santa Monica. I remember there was a day that I literally didn't have any money for gas, and like there was no gas in my car. Like, I couldn't move my car because there was no gas in it, but I had no money. So I literally just sold my penny board on OfferUp that day so I could get money to put gas in my car. And yeah, also that month was the month that I hit my car. I was at a gas station and I was backing up and I hit my car, and like the tail light fell off and my car was all beat up, and I was like, oh my god. Are you kidding me? Right now? Really, right now? That month's also when I got a really bad cough. So this cough ended up lasting 3 months. I was super sick. It was a really bad cough. I had to go to the doctor, and like I was like, I don't know how to go to the doctor. Like, I don't know how to work the insurance and stuff. I had to literally find like a new doctor in Santa Monica and like figure it all out on my own. And I was like, I literally don't know what I'm doing. And that was just annoying too, because that cough, literally, I sounded so sick and I felt so sick all the time, and like I didn't know why. It literally lasted 3 months. Like, I don't understand understand why. But yeah, that month where I started living with my friend, the landlord like wasn't letting me park there, but I had nowhere else to park my car. So I ended up just parking my car at like my friend's apartment that was like a mile away. I would just park my car at his apartment and walk a mile back and forth every day that I needed to use my car because I literally had no other option. And then we get into September. So that's also when I got a second job at Whole Foods, and I didn't work there as much as I worked at the acai bowl place, but I would pretty much close every night. My schedule was pretty much like I would open at Backyard Bowls at 6:30 a.m., be there until like 1, and then I'd go to class, and then right after I'd go to work, and I'd work until closing at like 10:30, and I'd do that every single day. I don't know how I did it. It was literally I would hang out with my friends every night after work, and I would still wake up and go to work the next day at 6:30 a.m. I literally don't know how I did that. Once I made like a routine out of it, it was pretty easy and I didn't really mind. I was working a lot, honestly. It was a lot of work, but I really didn't mind because I had a lot of friends to hang out with. So it was kind of just like I'd work and then I'd have fun after, and it was like a balance, and it worked out. Pretty much all the paychecks that I was getting for my 2 jobs, I was literally just saving all of it. Like I was not spending any money, no free money to spend on clothes, no free money to spend on food. I literally was just saving every single paycheck so I can move out and get my own place. That area of LA and Santa Monica and stuff is just so expensive. It's so expensive. It's ridiculous. Santa Monica is probably the most expensive place ever. But I was like, I'm literally working 2 jobs. Like I'm working as much as I can while I'm going to school, and I still can't even afford like the cheapest place. It was so crazy, but I would literally just save up all of my paychecks. I knew eventually I would find somewhere, but for the time being I was literally just working and saving everything. That month was also when my friend's landlord said that I couldn't park there anymore, and I was like, okay, I literally have no options now. I remember that day my friend was like, yeah, sorry, my landlord said you can't park here anymore, and I just like moved my car. I was sitting in the SMC parking lot in my car, and I was just like, where do I park my car? Where do I park my car? Like I was literally so stressed about that because I had nowhere to park my car. And then I finally ended up getting the friend that I was staying with's landlord to let me pay $60 a month to park there, which I didn't mind. I just needed a place to park. Sorry, I'm sweating so much. It's so hot. So then October comes around, which was honestly such a good vibe month. October was great. I had a great time. Like I love October, and it was my birth month. So pretty much like through the beginning of October, I was just working, going to school, hanging out with friends, and just having a routine, and it was fine. I was chilling, had a good amount of money saved because I literally just saved every single paycheck I got, and I ended up finally finding a place on Craigslist. It was for like this shared co-living thing, but it was right on the same street as the acai bowl job, so I was like, this is so perfect. Like I can literally have like a 1-minute walk to my 6:30 a.m. shift. Like this is great. So what that apartment was, it's pretty much like co-living. So it was a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was like guys in one room, girls in another room, and it was 6 people in each room, so it was 12 people total in the apartment, which everyone thinks that's crazy. They're like, why would you do that? That does not sound like a good place to live, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I'm broke. Like where else am I supposed to live? Like that is literally the only place I could afford. It kind of made me mad when people talk down on me for that because I literally was working so hard. Like I was working more than anyone that I knew at that time, and I was making as much money as I could, and there was nothing else I could afford. So I was like, this is all I can afford. Like I don't know what you want me to do. Any other place would have been way too expensive for me, and that was all I could afford. It was $650 a month including utilities, which wasn't bad, except they scammed me on the parking. They were like, yeah, the parking's $50 a month, and once I signed the lease they're like, oh, actually it's $150 a month. So then what I had to do with the parking thing is I couldn't park at my own apartment, so I had to park on the street. Like you can only park on the street during certain times, so I would constantly have to move my car. Like I couldn't be at my apartment past 11 a.m. So when I moved in there I was literally never there, which is why I didn't mind it. A lot of people were like, oh wow, I could never do that, blah blah blah, but like I was never there. Like I kid you not, I would go to work at 6:30 in the morning, so I'd wake up before anyone is up. I would spend the whole day out of the apartment, and the only time I would come back is like after I would hang out with my friends. So I'd work at Whole Foods till like 10:30, and then I'd always hang out with my friends after, so I wouldn't come back till like after midnight every night, and then I'd just leave before anyone woke up. It was just like a constant cycle. I pretty much didn't even meet any of my roommates, and they never saw me. I didn't keep any of my food in my apartment. I always kept it at my friend's apartment because I was literally always at my friend's apartment. I literally just needed a place to sleep and shower and put my stuff, so I didn't really care that much. So that's why I got that apartment, and it was super close to my job. So the only thing that was annoying with that apartment was the parking, because it was so annoying. Like I could not park there at certain times. Sometimes the street parking would be all filled up. I would like drive to my friend's apartment and then take the bus back and just like leave the key with them, and I'm like, if the landlord says anything, like just move my car. It was such a chaotic system, the whole parking thing. Honestly, I don't know how I did that. Like I was really lacking sleep. That's the only thing that if y'all are taking experience or advice from this, I didn't sleep. I did not sleep. I pretty much would only sleep like 5 hours max every single night, and I don't know why. My body was fine with it. I didn't really mind, and I didn't really feel sleep deprived or anything. I felt totally fine. I was able to work and do everything. I honestly don't know how I did it all, because now I'm like, wow, that was a lot of work. But I guess when you have to do something, you just do it. So then November comes around and there's more things that go wrong. First off, November 1st, boom, fired from my acai bowl job. It was so dumb and it makes me so mad. I don't even want to get into it, but basically I just couldn't make it to a shift and the boss fired me. She was pregnant and very moody, and I was the only person, I swear, I was the only person in the whole job that didn't talk bad about her, and then she ended up firing me. I was like, okay, I was literally defending you. It also made me mad because my boss knew that that was the job that was helping me pay rent. Like, she knew my whole situation. She knew that was my main source of income. It made me so mad too because I lived at my apartment for 15 days before I got fired from the job. And like, literally the whole reason I got this apartment is because it was on the same street as the acai bowl place, and now I just have to look at that place all the time after they fired me. I was so mad. Oh my god, I was so mad. So pretty much they fired me, and that was my main source of income. Like, I worked at Whole Foods, but that was kind of just like for like utilities and like other types of bills, but my rent was pretty much covered from my whole entire paycheck that I got at the acai bowl place. I had my job at Whole Foods, so I wasn't too worried. I just saved everything, and I knew it would work out and I'd somehow find a way to pay for everything. But I realized I'd be getting enough money from Whole Foods and the money I had saved to pay my rent for like the rest of the lease. I had planned to only stay at that apartment for 3 months because that was like the minimum lease, so it was gonna end January 15th. So I had already planned to not stay there longer than 3 months, and I had enough money saved and that I would be getting to pay for that. So I was looking for a second job like immediately after because I was super panicked and freaked out that I wasn't going to be able to pay my rent. After I figured out that I would have enough money, like barely, I just was like, you know what, I'm just not even going to look for a second job. I was freaking out after I got fired though. I was like, I couldn't find a second job. I was like, bro, how am I going to pay my rent? During that month, I was also getting sick a lot. I don't know why. I just kept getting sick and I didn't know what was wrong with me. There was like another time where I was literally throwing up so much. I didn't know what it was, and I was throwing up so much that I literally just drove here and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. So since I was getting sick a lot, I kept coming back here because I just didn't want to be at my apartment. I was like, I don't know what to do. I literally had never been sick that much. It was so weird. I was having so many issues and I don't know why. I was getting sick, so I'd come here and then I'd also just be bored sometimes, so I'd just like spend weekends here and stuff. So that was the month of November, and then December 2019. This is when the fall semester was ending, and then another issue. I couldn't catch a break. New month, new issue. So I ended up going to Rolling Loud because I knew I had enough money from my rent and I had a little extra money from my paychecks because I was working more at Whole Foods, and all of my friends were going to Rolling Loud and I really wanted to go, so I was like, you know what, let's just go. We just bought tickets outside like for half the price. It was super last minute and we literally decided the day of that we were gonna go. I have a whole story time about that, but basically I went to Rolling Loud. Day one, phone gets stolen. The iPhone XR that I was paying payments on with my credit card got stolen. So I didn't have a phone. I was like, wow, love that, love that, thank you, thank you. Thanks for that. So my phone gets stolen again. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, I have an iPhone X curse. I didn't feel too bad about this one just because literally everyone's phone got stolen at Rolling Loud. Like, so many people. Like, it's one of my friends in the same group got his phone stolen at the same time as me. So like, people were literally pickpocketing and someone took it from my bag. Everyone's phone got stolen at Rolling Loud, so I was kind of chilling knowing I wasn't alone. I was still mad though because I was like, what the heck? Like, I don't have a phone. I'm already paying payments on that. I have no money. Like, I cannot buy a new one. So I had to use my iPhone 5, which now it was too old to activate, so I couldn't even use it for calls or text. It was basically an iPod Touch. Like, it only worked on Wi-Fi. It was so annoying. It was the worst thing ever. I did not have any money though for a new phone, so I was like literally using that iPhone 5 for the longest. Oh, it was horrible. So after a few weeks not having a phone, I couldn't take it because the iPhone 5 literally did not work. So I just bought a cheap iPhone 6 from someone on OfferUp a few weeks later because I literally couldn't take it. The iPhone 6 was the worst phone ever. It was so bad, so glitchy. Literally, I'm so appreciative of having a working phone now. After having to use like cheap phones like that, it was so annoying, so annoying. I literally, like, why did my phone have to get stolen? Like, why? I was so mad because I could not afford a new phone. So I was using an iPhone 6 for months. It was the worst thing ever. So after that, a lot of my friends started going home for winter break because it was like we didn't have school anymore and people just went back home for the holidays. I usually hang out at my friend's apartment, but since they all went home, I was like, okay, now I have to hang out at my apartment. But I really couldn't hang out at my apartment because I couldn't even park there during the day. So I would literally just like go and sit at Starbucks for so many hours because I had nothing else to do. I was like, okay, I'm super bored. So then I just started coming here for the weekends because I was like, there's nothing else to do. Like, I'm bored over there without any of my friends. So I was still living in Santa Monica, but I was just coming here a lot more during that month. And then we get into January 2020. So my winter break was actually until February because I didn't take winter semester. So I literally had a 2-month winter break. My lease ended on January 15th and I was like, okay, my winter break is like a whole month longer. So I just ended up deciding to move back here because I didn't feel a need to like pay for rent and work a bunch of jobs like that when I wasn't even going to school in Santa Monica. So my plan in January is basically just to move out of my apartment on the 15th and move back here and then get a job out here so I can work until my winter break's over and then hopefully have enough money saved to like move back over there again. But then there ended up being a global pandemic and that kind of canceled my plans. So now I'm just chilling here. Yeah, that's that. That was pretty much my story of what happened the last 6 months of 2019. It was so crazy. There was so much that happened. I honestly had a lot of fun. I was chilling. It was a good experience, I think. Like, it was super hard. I don't think I emphasized how much I worked, but I literally would work so much. I was literally working like 6:30 a.m. I'd start work. I'd work, immediately go to school after, and then I'd go to work again, and I'd work until closing, and then I'd hang out with my friends, and then I'd sleep for like 3 hours, and then I'd just repeat, and I did that every day. And it wasn't too bad for me just because I had my friends, and I feel like when I hang out with my friends, it kind of like evens out. Like, I'm like, okay, I hate working, but I get to hang out with my friends after, so it's chill. So I didn't really mind it, but it was definitely a lot. And like, if you're trying to live somewhere that's actually livable, I honestly don't even know how people afford to live in LA. I really don't, because I was working over full time and I still could barely afford that. So I don't know how y'all be living out here, honestly. So that's pretty much my story of what happened. And I know a lot of people had questions and wanted me to make like a story or like an update video explaining all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment saying whatever. I love reading the comments and responding to them. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out. Bye. Tell you this room when I know there isn't